Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. It's our First Night Fayette broadcast, New Year's Eve here on Fayette TV. I'm Dave Slusarick, here with Mike Mehalek. Happy New Year, Mike.
Happy New Year to you, Dave.
Mike is an author and a Fayette County native.
Yes.
And Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your new book that is out now? Some of you have met Mike when we did our special Going Live on Location episodes at Seton Hill University. Mike, give us an update on where things are with your book.
So back in June when we were at Seton Hill, I had talked on the show and I had mentioned that the book was going to be coming out and I'd be working on it. So it launched on November 25th, so it's been getting pretty good success. It's an urban fantasy. It's about a dragon, and the whole premise of the book is basically a dragon, which is a big, powerful creature. What would happen if that creature had to spend the rest of its life as a lowly creature, such as a human? And so with that idea in mind, only human came to fruition.
Wow. So what was the, give us a little bit of background on the genre of urban fantasy. Is that something that's done a lot, or is this something that you've kind of morphed some different genres to create this?
Urban fantasy's been around for a long time. I mean, it's kind of, urban fantasy is one of those genres where if you read in like fantasy or read science fiction, they all kind of like get down into more and more specific kind of areas. And so I like the idea of urban fantasy. I don't necessarily read a lot of urban fantasy. I've read some of it. But I like the idea of having sort of, I want to have two-world kind of a feel to it. And I love stories that have, really those stories that are like, there's a world around you, but you don't know about. Mm-hmm. So like Lady in the Water, or is that what it's called? Lady in the Water with M. Night, or like those kind of ones where there's like a whole world around you that you don't know about.
Yeah.
And so I like that whole premise. So to do that, I kind of needed to create another sort of world.
What was the inspiration for this particular story? Is this something that you've had in your head for a long period of time and just kind of put it on paper?
It kind of started as like a prompt I had one time, like, what would it be like to be a dragon? And so I had that idea in mind, but when I started writing it, I realized one of the first stories I wrote back when I was in first grade was a story about Dennis the dinosaur. It was about a dinosaur who didn't have any friends and kind of had to spend a lonely life. And so looking back, it's kind of the same story. Hopefully a little better than it was back then, though.
Right. That's really cool. So dragons, is that something that you've always kind of had an interest in then?
Yeah, I grew up. I like Dungeons and Dragons. I used to watch on TV and like those kind of things. And my twin brother actually was very big in like Magic the Gathering back in high school and stuff. So I kind of have been on the outskirts of it. So I do like, that kind of stuff. So The Hobbit and those kind of movies are out now. When
you're writing a book like this, do you have any muses, or do you have anyone that you kind of touch base with on your, as far as your ideas go, have them proofread or maybe give you some feedback?
This actually, it took a lot of people to help on this book. It was surprising. You don't realize when you're writing like how many people are involved with it. I actually went to Seton Hill, so I started writing that as my thesis novel. So I had my critique partners do that, but then after that I had many, many friends look at it. I've sent it to agents, I had editors look at it. Some people gave feedback, some people not. But whether they got the feedback or not, those experiences kind of help you shape the book into what it is and to shape me into the writer that I am today.
So this is your first novel that it's being published. Can you give us, but you've been writing for a long time, give us a little bit of background about Mike Mehalek as a writer and how you've evolved.
Well, I've always liked to write. Like I said, first grade is when my first story that I can remember writing, but I've always liked to tell stories. If you talk to my family, they'll tell you I like to talk and to tell stories, so it seemed to be a natural fit. And then, as I wrote, even when I was in like undergrad, when I would go to school and stuff, I'd still be writing like poems or short stories. I would take for my free electives, I would take writing classes instead of, I would take upper level classes instead of like freshman level classes for which everybody thinks would be the filler in classes. And so I got to a point where I knew I wanted to do this for a living, and I kind of felt like I wasn't where I liked my writing, I thought my writing was good, but I needed to feel like I was better at it. And so in 2006, I signed up when I went to Seton Hill and got my master's from the program there. And that really kind of gives you kind of like the jolt that you need to kind of get me writing and get you writing every day. Sort of see, because you're working with like professionals in the field, so it was kind of like kind of fun. You're kind of like, they're kind of like rock stars in your world, when you see these people. So it kind of grew from there, and I continued to do the writing, and so it's trying to find that balance between, say, real life and then doing this to get it out. So
now, this new book project of yours has already gotten some national attention, some acclaim. I know you're a humble guy, but can you tell us about some of the recognition that it's gotten?
So it's been out for a month now, and it's been in the Kindle store on Amazon. It's been in the top 100 for the entire time it's been out in literary fiction and gay and lesbian fiction. So I'm very proud for that. I'm kind of surprised that it's been on there. I didn't write a romance book, but actually was in the top 100 for romance for a while as well. And every once in a while, you know, Amazon updates hourly their stats.
Yeah.
So every once in a while I'll go on there, it'll be like 97 or 98, and I'm like, huh, I didn't write a romance novel, but there it is. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
But there is a little bit of romance in this story, right? Or?
There is. There's a little bit of everything.
So the ideal audience for this book could really be anyone with an imagination. Right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would like to think that people who like to read, people who like to read different things, something that you're not going to find, you know, your standard kind of stuff on the bookshelf, that you would see something a little more quirky, I guess.
Tell us one more time, Mike. We're getting the wrap-up sign here from our producer, but tell us one more time the title of the book and where folks can pick it up.
Yep, it's right now on Amazon, and the title is Only Human.
Excellent. Mike Mehalek, independently published author and a good man, Fayette County native. Glad to have you with us. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to all of you. Please stay with us. We have more Going Live New Year's Eve edition after these messages.